double trouble. Double, double trouble.
What's going on, everybody? Bill Mac here with another edition of Pro Wrestling Unleashed. Thanks for joining me tonight. We're just seconds removed from watching GFW Impact for July the 27th, 2017. Thank you, folks, for joining me. We have another video bringing right to you as we had a good show tonight. And let's just jump right into the results. We have a six-man tag match to begin Impact, as we have Eli Drake, Chris Adonis, and EC3. They're taking on Eddie Edwards, Marufuji, and Moose. As we see a lot of action from last week, what happened? Basically, the EC3, Eli Drake, and Chris Adonis control pretty much the early part of the matchup. Eddie Edwards gets worked on. They kept trying to keep him from tagging in Moose. Moose gets tagged in. We see Marufuji do a couple things. Moose ends up clearing everybody out. He goes off on EC3. We see EC3 ends up hitting a low blow on Moose, and he hits a move he later calls the ECD, which is the Ethan Carter driver, and he picks up the win for Eli, for himself, and for Chris Adonis. So the heels looks like go over in the first match of the night. We see the very beautiful Mackenzie Mitchell. She is interviewing. The last few weeks we've been noticing there's a dude exercising in the back, and he's been there during interviews, and I've been kind of wondering who it was. Well, he dressed himself tonight, and he said he said his name, but didn't quite get it, but he claims he's a standby wrestler. In case something happens, they need to fill time, he's there for that. And and Mackenzie said that's the dumbest thing she's ever heard of. But he's over there exercising, and she lets him go. So we cut a video package for a new group coming, a new tag team. Their name seems to be OVE, and so it remains to be seen more on that. But there was a video package for them that came back, that showed up. We see Lashley calls out Bruce Pritchard. Remember last week Lashley wanted a world title matchup. Bruce came out and said, look, everybody seems these days is wanting a title matchup. Matt Sydal even wanted one. And so Lashley talks about how he deserves having a title shot at Destination X, which comes up August the 17th, and it will be on Pop, so at least we'll get to watch it. Their event, I guess. I don't know if it's not a pay-per-view. It's really, again, an event. So he calls out Bruce. Bruce comes out and he says pretty much what he said last week. Sydal interrupts. Sydal starts talking to Bruce. And then Bobby gets really annoyed, and he pushes Sydal out the way because he's like he doesn't even see Sydal there. Really, Sydal doesn't matter. Sydal gets in his face. Lashley goes to spear Sydal. Sydal moves. Sydal ends up hitting a 450 splash onto Bobby Lashley, which he grabs in his stomach and chest, and he rolls to the outside. So this looks to shape up for something to happen, and it will, believe me. Up next, we've got a final round one matchup of the Super X Cup. We have Davey Richards. He's taking on Ishimura. And this was a good match. There was a lot of going back and forth. Ishimura got the best of Davey Richards in the beginning with a lot of offense early in the matchup, which it causes Davey to get upset, to bring a chair to the ring. Referee gets rid of the chair, and then they go back and forth, and Ishimura ends up hitting a 450 splash onto Davey for the win. And by this win, Ishimura is going to end up going next week and facing ACH in the second round. And let me correct something. I said that was a 450 splash by Matt Sydal just a minute ago. It wasn't a 450 splash. It was a shooting star press, which is what his move is. So I wanted to stand corrected on that. Bruce is standing in the back as we come back from commercial when he states that due to the actions tonight between Matt Sydal and Bobby Lashley during Destination X, these two guys will face off each other, and the winner of the match gets whatever title shot he thinks he needs that he wants. So this remains to be seen. This looks like there might be some build-up. Another little guy against Lashley, which I can see that happening. It's good to mix it up from time to time. So looks like we're going to have a match already for Destination X lined up. This to me was the best match of the night. This was the last knockout standing matchup. You have Siena, the unified knockouts champion, taking on Rosemary, the former champion. These ladies went at it. This was you had to end up rendering your partner or your opponent unconscious, and they couldn't answer. They can't answer to the count of 10. Then you win. That's how this matchup goes. And these ladies were all over the place. Rosemary got the early jump on Siena right from the start. They end up going to the outside. Rosemary Rosemary ends up putting a reverse tarantula was the move, laying across the back of the stairway there, and it looked awesome. That's the move she usually uses in the corner, but I never knew what the name of it was. But she did that. We see Rosemary brings in a table. We see Siena at one point throw in some chairs, and that's where Rosemary ends up using the chairs. We see Siena hit her AK-47 on the outside apron onto Rosemary while on the outside, which was an awesome spot by her. So these ladies are athletic and they can wrestle, and that's good to have the knockouts to do that. Of course, they always have been. We see at one point Rosemary hits the red wedding on Siena. We see KM while she's down. KM comes in. Since there's no disqualification in this match, KM picks her up, Siena up, and props her across the ropes because he knows she probably won't be able to get up from it. So then Rosemary tries to chase KM out with the chair. We see Rosemary goes to set up a trash can against Siena. She's going to do a coast to coast, but as she's going to the top, KM interferes, and she ends up shooting a mist in KM's eyes, which prompts Siena to throw a trash can and hits Rosemary, causes her to get unbalanced. She falls off the ropes and goes through the chair. Siena ends up managing a roll out on the count of 9, balancing herself to standing up as she climbs out. Rosemary is unable to answer the 10 count. Siena still your unified Impact, your unified knockouts champion. So, really good match. I thought this was the best match of the night for me because these knockouts go all out with their matchup. We come back and we see Grado. Now, early on, the first thing that happened, it wasn't necessarily the 6-man, but it was Joseph Park getting there with Grado. Remember, Grado was going to ask LVN the big question and pop it because his citizenship rides on that. So we see that happens. Grado comes in the ring, and he's wearing this ridiculous orange, like from Dumb and Dumber. The one that Harry wore, the orange one, he had a tuxedo, looked just like that. He calls Laura Van Ness down, starts complimenting her. Everything gets on one knee, goes to pop the question. Congo Kong comes out. Grado gets scared, climbs out of the ring. Congo Kong stands in the ring with LVN. Grado and Joseph Park go up the ramp. So she didn't say no, but she didn't say yeah. And Grado looked like he was on his way out unless he can make something happen. So that's what happens in that. We see McKenzie in the back talking to Alberto El Patron, and he just cuts a promo on LAX and what he's going to do to him tonight. Trevor Lee still wearing Sanjay Dutt's X Division title, claims he's gonna fight tonight. He flew around and found the best high flyer in Mexico, and it comes out to be Octagon Saito. Remember, he's one of the little guys for them. But he gives Trevor Lee, he hits quite a few moves on Trevor Lee. Trevor Lee gets disgusted because he thinks it's someone he could easily squash, ends up climbing outside the ring, getting a 10 count, and loses the match, which prompts Sanjay to come down to try to get his title yet again, which he's been barred from the building, but then the security has to get Sanjay and take him back out basically again. So still holding on to the title, Trevor Lee, winner of the match, of course, by count out Octagon Saito. So at least he has a win over. Oh, I might have got these out of sync. I got these out of sync. The Grado thing come after this stuff, so I'll get to that. LAX is in the clubhouse, and Conan tells Homicide, I want you to cripple AEP tonight. Alberto Patron, I want you to cripple tonight. He doesn't disrespect us, what he did last week, and we're going to make sure he gets it this week. So then it comes the part where Grado comes in and stuff. And like I said, Congo Kong comes in, and Congo Kong is upset, you can tell, and whatnot. So we come out last. This is the This is the LAX comes out. We see Alberto Patron comes to the crowd. He ends up quickly disposing of Homicide by hitting a splash. Ortiz comes in. There's a lot of interference in this match with LAX with the referee with his back turned. Of course, that's strict LAX style. We see basically Alberto Patron hits the double stomp onto Ortiz while he on the corner. He ends up getting pinned. It's all boils down to Santana. They went back and forth for a little bit. I guess once again, more interference by Alberto El Patron. El Patron ends up hitting the arm bar, the cross arm breaker on Santana, but before he can tap, LAX, of typical fashion, hits the ring. They all beat down Alberto Patron. His brother comes out there. They get him. Of course, numbers always take precedent, no matter what kind of heart you got. His father comes out there, and then all of a sudden, Veterans of War come out there, and now the numbers are more formidable for them to fight, and Veterans of War help clear the ring of LAX, and it's Veterans of War, Alberto Patron, his brother, and his father standing tall in the middle of the ring as GFW Impact comes to a close. So we see quite a few things, and we know now when Destination X is. It's August the 16th, if I didn't mistake that. But it looks to be like it's shaping up. It's going to hopefully be pretty good with some good matches. And Rosemary will be back. She done stated that she would be back, and that the Hive wasn't going to stand for this. So I hope you've enjoyed this recap of what happened. If you've missed GFW Impact, and I hope you like my videos. If you do, drop a like on this video. Subscribe to my channel. You like this video, share it if you want to. Trying to get my viewers up, get my subscribes up. I try to bring the best that I can. So until next time, this is Bill Mac with Pro Wrestling Unleashed saying, take it easy.